I was watching Twister with my son. But I wanted to get on and say hey to everybody. I still exist. I do actually do want to still do this. I don't know how else I'll pay the bills. Gotta make that, $5 to $10 a month that this stream rakes in for me. I mean, I got mouths to feed. Well, it's good to be here. I still have a job, despite every official in the U.S. seemingly trying to, make that not the case. But hey, I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get. Hopefully, you guys have had a good week. I don't think a whole lot that's extremely insane has happened since I was last on. I know residency match week finished up. Congratulations to all of you who matched. Hopefully you matched in a specialty and in a place that you desire. I saw, we can talk about this a little later, but there's essentially an antitrust investigation going on with regards to the US residency match, and we can talk about how the match works if you're not familiar with that. Just ask. But I know most of my audience is at least kind of familiar with it. But if you are not, let me know and I will explain it. But anyway, yeah, antitrust violation because it is very clearly a monopoly. But excuse me, jeez. Oh, I guess you need to see me. Hi. Hey everybody, it's me. I'm here. Yeah, it's a monopoly, and I'm interested to see, like, it might just be one of those random, like, toothless things that happens, and just to say, oh, we investigated it and we didn't find any wrongdoing. Okay, but maybe there's always hope that some sort of real change comes from these investigations, right? Because it has happened before. Because not too long ago there was like the reason that residents are limited to 80-hour weeks. So the work limitation on medical residents, which I would say most programs butt up against every now and then, is you cannot work more than 80 hours per week averaged over a 4-week span. So you could theoretically have a 120-hour week, but if you've got like some quote lighter weeks in the other 3, then that can average out and be fine according to those standards. But in any event, they made that change, that limitation, after I can't remember the exact story now, but basically somebody, I think it was like an oil baron, or some extremely rich influential dude. His daughter died, I believe, as a result of medical errors from a like overtired resident. So yeah, so 80-hour weeks will certainly do away with that problem. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I've definitely taken care of lots of people when I had zero business, like, being awake, much less functioning at an extremely high level. Let's see, that seems a little loud to me, so we're gonna crank the sound effects down a titch. But yeah, I haven't heard, there's nothing massively insane or catastrophic going on with regards to healthcare that I'm aware of. But, the last couple months have just been an absolute freaking policy roller coaster in seemingly all arenas. So maybe I'm just missing something. But, measles continues to spread in the south, and it's kind of coming north a little bit. Might be a little bit of Darwinism involved there, but we don't believe in that sort of thing. That doesn't exist. Darwin, evolution, it's ridiculous. What in the world are we listening to? Spungle Eyes. Okay. Spungle is weird. Good stuff, though. Definitely odd. But yeah, I'm kind of waiting for. You know, I don't know. I don't know how much of this, like, you know, fucking, like, invade Greenland, like, tax war with, or, trade war with Canada stuff is actually just, like, talk. You know, like, oh, we're gonna put these tariffs in place, and then somebody's like, no, 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 actually, let's not do that, because that sort of ruins everything and screws us up. which has already been done, right? I think that's kind of happened a couple times.
Welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the plan, or if that's just kind of like how it's going. Because, you know, people, like, sort of sweep in to clean up these messes, but whatever the case. It doesn't seem like there's been any, like, massive repercussions for anybody involved just yet, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, just business as usual for me. Because realistically, I'm, you know, probably the type of person who would be the most protected from any fallout that those actions would cause as a, you know, like, high-income, privileged white dude. I'm fairly insulated from cost issues and, you know, racism, discrimination, systematic and otherwise, those sorts of things. Not to say that I don't care, but at least I, like, it probably won't hit real close to home for me. Do I want that accuracy already? Probably. What are my options? This is kind of weird. I'm sort of at a flex point with this build where I'm about to, like, kind of change what I'm doing and actually get into my build. Somebody be texting me. Latest updates from Student Doctor Network. Cool. Don't need that. I actually got a lot out of the Student Doctor Network. I was a moderator there, for those of you who do not know. Moderator there for several years, actually. That was a lot of fun. I think I sort of, when did I stop, like, really being involved? I think, like, late med school is when I sort of, like, started dropping off, where, you know, I was just getting busier and had to focus a little more. Oh, and I totally forgot to do anything useful with this skill point. I don't have a lot of life. Why don't I do life first? But yeah, I was pretty active. I would, you know, contribute, and I always, every year, would, like, edit people's personal statements, and, you know, give them personalized advice, and basically do a bunch of things that I probably should have been charging for, but did it because I, you know, like, legitimately believe that those are helpful services that people should have access to. But, yeah, definitely once residency started, I had no time for that anymore, because, you know, as mentioned previously, apparently 80 hours a week is perfectly acceptable for your emergency physician to work and take care of you. Ah, my God. I wish I knew the layouts of these levels. That would help so much. Yeah, stop contributing there. Still, like, I kind of went back and I have a, or, well, I should say, before my daughter was born and my streaming habits collapsed into nothingness, essentially, and I was more active on, like, all social media, I had a thread that I maintained there. And did, you know, sort of more of the same, really. Kind of, like, low-level personalized advice and discuss things with people regarding anesthesia and all that kind of thing. But, I do like Student Doctor Network, but man, the neuroticism is rampant. It's sort of a common theme to pretty much everything in medicine, I guess, but this profession attracts a lot of really weird, anxious people. Something doesn't sit well. No, I probably shouldn't be stopping to attack all this stuff. I forget that I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. And I still haven't gotten any ascendancies because I don't want to be blind. This is the first thing that makes me blind, which I think I'm about to change that though, because I just killed Garkon and can be unblinded, courtesy of her, whatever, Pantheon. There you go, Pantheon, that's the word I'm looking for. So I will change that as soon as I kill this boss, I think, basically. So I'm, what, level 59? 60. Beautiful. Let's get in here. Chevron. Suck my balls. Look at that. Thanks, wolves. You guys rock. That was about as easy as I could have ever asked for. So yeah, regarding healthcare, I just cannot even tell you how glad I am that I am not a primary care physician right now. Like, having to explain to people why they should still vaccinate their children just sounds so stupid. I mean, it's so bad, dude. I mean, the leader of the health department, or health services department, says is an active science denier. It's just insane to me. But I'm really glad that ain't me, man. Sheriff of Sodium seems to have less positive views of SDN. So I think it could have changed that much? Yeah, absolutely I do. I don't know, like, what is his, what are his problems with it, I guess. I mean, I always found it to be sort of I mean, it's sort of like any public, it's like any social media, right? If you want it to be a cesspool, it can be. And there are definitely a ton of people there who are just, you know, asking insane questions like, will I get in with more than max scores and 50 trillion research projects and shit? Like, yeah, I think you're probably okay, bro. But yeah, I mean, if you look past that, and of course there's always somebody who, you know, is like a virtue signaler, or, you know, the person who would turn their own brother in for, like, plagiarizing a sentence or something. You know, lots of rule followers and stuff like that going on. That's, I find, insanely obnoxious. So there's definitely bad parts to it, don't get me wrong. I don't have a, I don't look at it with rose-colored glasses. I tried to do right by people on my part, but I recognize that the system had some pretty huge flaws. Off comment on one of his videos. Huh, okay. He seems like a... seems like he's a decent source of information. Has some okay takes. I disagree with him about a lot of things. I feel like, what is his name? Brian? Something, Brian Carmody, is that right? I feel like he's kind of in the try-hard camp, to be honest with you. Like, you know, I will do anything for my patients no matter what, sort of thing. I am very much not that way. Like, I will do that while I'm at work, and I will go the extra mile if I'm already involved. But I'm not the type who's gonna, like, come in from home when I'm not on call, or, you know, be like, you know, that's okay. I'm gonna stay and finish this 9-hour case because I started it. Like, you know, no. I'm not gonna, like, call people at home and that sort of thing. Unless there's, like, a pressing reason for me to do so. You know, they have some, like, adverse outcome that was my fault, or something like that. But he strikes me as the type of person who would basically mandate that if you were on his service or working with him. I don't think there's anything, like, necessarily wrong with that, but it is pretty tough to be around, frankly. And I'm not sure that it makes much difference in patient care. It makes a lot of difference in, well, it makes some difference in patient perception, but as far as the, like, actual care delivered, I don't think it's really significant. It's like, if you think about it, like, especially for me, if I see somebody get in a heinous car wreck, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do about that? Like, I don't have any of my equipment, I don't have any monitors, I don't have any supplies, no drugs, you know, like, I'm extremely highly trained, and I like to think I'm pretty good at my job, but without any resources, I'm just another dude who happens to know exactly how fucked that person is. You know, like, there's not like much I can do with like a phone call is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, you know, if somebody has like some heinous complication, I could be like, ooh, that sounds bad, you should go to the ER for that. I live for medicine bucket. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, he would work for free, sort of thing. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, I'm definitely getting to the point with this character where I have a bunch of leveling gear on, and it's just not cutting it anymore, and I'm trying to get to level 68. But the, like, boss experience is not good, as you can see. Like, once my wolves are kaput, it's, kind of game over. If I was smart, I'd be, changing gear setup a little bit, but I'm stubborn, and I'll keep bashing my head against this wall for a while. Do I want help? What do I need help with? I probably need help. What's going on, man? You got an apple for her? Bet she could use an apple. Oh, wait, I might have Kinetic Blast on somewhere. Yeah, it's just me, like, I'm dependent on my wand giving me, wolves. So, I'll actually have to pay attention and dodge shit and, you know, mechanics and play like I actually know what I'm doing. Which I sort of do. Definitely not a skilled player for the most part, but... Aw, oh, come on, Doedri. Will you just die, please? Die! Just freaking die. This is ridiculous. There we go. Okay. Oh, well, it's an Elos Muskangle, something like that. Oh, well, thank you for the actual genuine offer of help. I appreciate that. I'm good. I'm just gonna... Wait. The fuck did I do that for? Oh, that was a terrible idea. Alright, well, guess I'm running back to the portal. Awesome. So I can't town portal back because there's not a waypoint anywhere near where I need to be. Ah, stupid. There we go. Hi, Sin. Slowest Tool, by the way. That's an awesome name. Alright. Alright, where are your little scorpion dudes? I need wolves. Give me wolves. So I thought, Sodium Sheriff, or whatever his moniker is, I thought his review of the match this year was actually pretty helpful. sort of interestingly insightful. Kind of obvious, I guess, but it was a nice summary of everything. Like, family practice looks like it's in a really bad place. I'm not really sure why pediatrics hasn't suffered more than it has, to be honest. I mean, I guess it really is buoyed by people who just can't think of anything they want to do other than take care of kids. Ow. Which is unfathomable to me, given that you literally have to take a 50% pay cut to do that. And there are ways that you could take care of kids and actually make more money. So, I don't know. As tech improves, so will healthcare? What did you... I mean, I agree with that, but what did you have in mind in particular? Because there are lots of things on the horizon, especially with AI. Lots of things on the horizon for that mode. So I do it for the kids. Yeah, it is. It's always nice to have somebody with like an educated eye towards a complex concept like that, kind of, you know, bring it all together for you. I do like that resource is available. I think that's cool. That's kind of what I try to be too, to some degree, or used to be. Like, I don't know if Kimmer, were you around when I first started? Like, the whole idea was that there's just so much misinformation during the pandemic, and I just kind of like got online and started talking about like basic concepts regarding COVID and stuff, and it was really fun. Oh god, so weak, so much weak sauce. Really? Am I like missing an aura or something? I should probably put Grace on. That might be something important. There we go. A little easier to do this with minions and not getting hit by literally freaking everything. You get, yeah, it is weird that you get paid less to work with kids, right? Because, especially since, you know, say you're, I don't know, pediatric cardiologist, like, those kids aren't seeing you because their hearts are normal. You know? Like, adults have, you know, they're like, well, I ate like shit and smoked for 50 years, and now my coronaries are all fucked up. But, you know, please help. But kids are like, nah, my plumbing ain't right. Like, it's way more complicated. Generally speaking. Generally speaking. Ah, god, this is brutal. Oh, boss fights. There we go, there's some wolves. Eat a dick, depraved eternity. My wolf's got this, or not. Oh god. There we are. Okay, now I can just go and level for a little bit. Towards the end of this stream, interview for some YouTube groups. Oh yeah, I did do a few of those. I think those groups have kind of like, that was an interesting deal because like those people have, those were like pre-med servers, and they kind of all like aged out, and like the people running the servers were, I think, prospective med students or were med students themselves, and just don't really have much interest in running those talks anymore. So if I wanted to do such a thing again, I would have to kind of seek out more sources of those groups, basically. What is that? Oh yeah, that's the guild. Okay, well here I am. Let's see. Do I need to run back and cash in on some quests? I probably do. Oh, I need to go get Shikari. That's right. Do I have the... I don't think I have the bottle... or the... Bottled Storm. That's what it is, right? Yep. Give me Bottled Storm, please. Thank you. I will take a Divine Mana Flask. Or not. So I think the, I'll put that on, I guess. The advent of AI in healthcare is going to be very interesting.
Be careful.
I think it will probably eliminate some jobs, but those jobs, I don't think are going to be the ones that lots of people are worried about. So my thought is that AI is going to...
I don't think I need to be doing
I don't know if eliminate... I wouldn't go as far as saying eliminate, but it will drastically reduce the number of mid-level practitioners needed. Because AI is very imperfect right now for healthcare. Like, it's pretty good for a lot of things, but if you ask it, like, some specifics, it gets lost. And it's hard for the AI to, like, you know, scrounge up the answers that it needs. But, with all due respect to mid-level practitioners, that's sort of the level that a lot of them work at. Where it's, you know, good for entry-level stuff, but other than that, like, knowledge base probably a little lacking. I don't know that I would say AI is at the level of, like, a nurse practitioner or a PA right at the moment. I don't think that that's a fair statement overall, but I bet you that's gonna happen real soon. Like, that's coming quickly, and they should be the ones afraid of decreasing job opportunities. About to age out of the average age of entering med students, yeah. Yeah. It does happen, but you know what? Med students on it. I think the average age in my class was like 27 or something for first years. So you're not out of the range. I personally was more or less traditional. I did 9 semesters of college, so I had like a semester where I just worked. I was a pharmacy tech. I just went home and worked for 6 months and then went to med school. So I was like a year older than most people. But yeah, I mean, you'll be right in line with most of them, I think. Medicine's so hard though, because like it's such a long path and the opportunity cost is so high for career changers that it's just like it's that would be a very hard call for me to make personally. Die, Shikari. Please die. There we go. Ah! Hate this freaking boss, man. Like, so many immunity phases, the slowing. Dude, just get out of the sand so I can freaking kill you. But yeah, I think mid-level should be very correction. Mid-levels without some sort of like surgical or procedural training should be very worried about AI. Like if you're a primary care or like the you know, sort of like fun fanciful thing is to be like involved in cosmetics, so like derm or plastic surgery or something, doing like Botox clinics and crap like that. Like, if that's you, you know, AI can't do Botox, but nurses can. And in Missouri, estheticians can. So, like, the knowledge that you bring to the table is kind of, like, easily accessible, and then the procedure that you do is too simple to be, you know, to make you valuable, basically. Daughter! As I sink into the quicksand. But yeah, man, if you work in a derm clinic or a family practice clinic or any clinic really, to be honest, that's gonna not be good for you as a nurse practitioner or PA. What was I about to do? Oh yeah, I need to.
You killed.
I killed Shikari. I sure did. Boop. Okay, more life. Okay. So level 60. Really need to be level 68, I think, for all my gear. So the question is, what is the plan? I guess just go through Act 10. AI and path is going to be bottlenecked by regulations. I believe that. And I mean, I think the same is true for radiology, too. As it should be, to be fair, as it should be. Like, I think those are, like, radiology and pathology are underrated in terms of importance to the flow of healthcare in general. I mean, there are so many things that even I do, you know, that are completely dependent on a good radiological read. Or, like, I don't deal quite as much with pathology, but, like, surgeons do all the time. You know, oncologists do, primary care doctors do. So, if you don't have somebody sort of triaging those reads and, you know, making sure that the AI is not screwing it up, then you can, I mean, you can kill people. You can miss stuff, you can misdiagnose things. You know, what if you miss somebody's cancer for 2 years because AI just didn't see it or, like, wasn't programmed well enough to read it? I mean, it's obviously unacceptable, so, like, yeah, I mean, you definitely need physician oversight of all that stuff. Get specific monitors FDA approved for diagnostics. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, it's gonna take a lot of oversight and, like, studies, basically just repetition to make sure that these things are in fact safe. It'll be a super useful tool, I think. It'll be a very helpful tool for everyone. Like, I think I might be in the specialty where AI is least useful. Because there's a lot of art to anesthesia. And, you know, we don't have clinic. We don't really have patients to triage, really. So everything that I do is, like, you can get information about it, but you can't do it on the fly. AI can't do it on the fly. So, I'm pretty comfortable. Pretty comfortable with this change. It's basically just an easier way for me to get information, but as far as employment opportunities, I'm good. But yeah, I think for radiology, like, lots of people cite radiology as one of the specialties that will be hardest hit by AI, but I think that's completely false. I think the primary care specialties will be the ones that feel the pinch the most. And maybe even emergency medicine to some degree. How would you train an algorithm to do anesthesia? I don't know. I don't know how you would do that. I am not smart enough to even have a clue where you would start to do that. I mean, it's, you know, obviously, like, somebody has to be there administering the drugs. So, even if you do have an AI that, like, intellectually is equivalent, there's got to be somebody there to, you know, place the central line or place the epidurals, place the IV, push the drugs in, that sort of thing. So, in the same way that, like, surgeons are in pretty good shape because, you know, we don't have, we're a long way off from being able to automate even the simplest surgeries. Ethically? Yeah, well, ethics is another piece of this that, you know, I personally haven't put a whole lot of thought into. Ethics is not my strong suit. I'm kind of just like, tell me what I need to do and I'll go do it. Like, hey, are we doing this now? Oh, we're doing AI surgery? That seems like a bad idea, but okay. Let's do it. Let's give it a go. Yeah, I mean, honestly, those sorts of like those sorts of decisions are just above my pay grade. If there's ever any question about uh whether or not, and I'm in a fortunate position where I kind of have this option, but anytime there's any question about like the ethical nature of something that we're doing, it's not my call ultimately. Uh you know, I can go and talk to like the primary teams, the surgeons or, you know, primary care doctor or something, and be like, "Hey, I don't know about this." And, you know, then it's their turn. You know, they're up. They get to figure it out. But if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, this procedure is medically necessary," you know, in this patient who can't consent or, you know, doesn't have family present or whatever, then, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. Like that covers me. You know, I'm not like I'm not liable for that decision. As far as I know, if there's a lawyer in chat, you know, if you're watching this and you're a lawyer and I'm being a dumbass, please tell me. I'm in Missouri, by the way. If that matters, which I know it does, but yeah, I mean, AI is going to introduce a whole new set of things to worry about in terms of ethics for sure. Like, well, the AI said that XYZ, and you know that's going to happen all the time, all the freaking time. People will blame the AI for, you know, whatever decision they made. Guess you'll be unemployed in rads. You absolutely will not be unemployed in radiology. You might have to do more reads. But in the short term, I think in the, you know, meaning relevant to you, like you'll be in the job market before any of that's an issue, I think. So basically it'll just be a tool for you to get more throughput, more RVUs, so it'll make you more money. Just learn how to use it. Learn how to use AI real effectively and you'll rock. What's up, Gucci, by the way? How are you, man? It's cool to see the people who've been here, you know, been in the stream, been a community member for a long time, like, figure out what they want to do with their lives. Because I know, like, a lot of the people who've been regulars here, Gucci included, have kind of been all over the place, which is fun. It's a good thing. It's good that you've had an open mind and, like, really kicked around a lot of specialties, like, you know, actually put some thought into what you want to do as a career. But it's cool that, you know, y'all are kind of settling in on something. Need to sign up for step 2, blah. I've been pretty good, man. Been pretty good. My daughter is an absolute tyrant right at the moment. She's kind of in the learning. There's like, people talk about the terrible twos, but it's, let's see. Ah, Jesus Christ. I see a long thing, and it's probably Haemophilus blue B. I haven't even read the stem yet. But yeah, my daughter screams a lot, is kind of where I'm going with this. Screams a lot for no reason, and then you say, "Hey, use your words," and she goes, "I want a brownie." Just like immediately stops crying. It's like, God damn it, like, couldn't you just say that? It was epiglottitis. It was a layup. Yeah, I didn't even read it. I just heard I saw the first like 3 words, and I was like, yeah, that's H flu. I've taken enough tests in my life. How old is she now? She's almost 2.5. So, yeah, we left the baby stage and now we're just in toddler hell. She she starts school in August though, somewhere. Hopefully at the school that my son goes to, because that would make the most sense, but we'll see. How long does it take to make an image in radiology? To make an image? You mean to like read an image? I don't know, man. I'm not a radiologist. I have no idea. To make an image, it just depends on, what you're doing. If it's a CT, it takes seconds. If it's an X-ray, it takes nanoseconds. If it's an MRI, it takes, 10 minutes. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Let's go back to town. Okay, are we quizzing me for,
I don't think I need to be doing that.
Fatty Liver King's writing a novel to me right now. Let's see. What you understand, unless they can make the time it takes scanning the images fast enough so the AI can make a read similar to the speed of the radiologist, radiology is safe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but it's... So, the way I think about it, and maybe this read is, Jesus Christ. The way that I think about it is it's like, whenever you get an EKG on somebody, the EKG gives you, like, this sort of, like, readout of what it thinks it is. That says, like, AFib with right bundle branch block and whatever. Well, here, I'll show you. If you don't know what that looks like, I'll show you. But the point is, like, the machine tells you what it thinks it is, and then, I'd say most people end up totally ignoring, or almost totally ignoring that. What the hell? I want, like, an actual EKG image. Okay, well, this sucks. It's not at all what I was... Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. So this is what it does. So it'll say, like, normal sinus rhythm, or, like, atrial fibrillation, blah, 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 blah. Like, has all this crap up here, like, possible inferior infarct, age indeterminate. What the fuck? Why can I not get rid of this guy? That's not what I wanted to do at all. Manage suspicious user. Close that shit. There we go. All right. But yeah, so this is what I think that the AI read will basically be. It's just like some automated readout that tells you information that you may or may not use. And like, you can look at this and be like, oh, I guess I should look out for the normal sinus rhythm in this. And then you look at that and you're like, I don't think that's normal sinus rhythm. That kind of thing. I think that's where AI will be for a long time. Probably, maybe forever in radiology, honestly. All right, so here we go. This is my mini step 2 continues. Elderly night watchman presents with painless jaundice and brown urine, lost 20 pounds of weight. In question, he isn't sure about his bowel habits, no palpable masses, but reports night sweats. Well, he either has cancer of some kind. So he's got either pancreatic cancer, bile duct cancer like cholangiocarcinoma or gallbladder cancer itself is very rare, but something like that. How has EKG not been automated yet? Yeah, I mean it is kind of weird that EKGs haven't been automated because it's just electrical activity, right? It really, I mean, but I think performance is part of the problem because like lead placement's always an issue. You know, the patient might be like shaking or moving around or some shit. Like, who knows? You know, it's not going to be a uniform thing every time. So you're not like garbage in, garbage out is kind of what I'm saying. So it's up to somebody who can look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's not AFib, that's a patient going like this. Yeah, so the night sweats weight loss is sort of an obvious cancer scenario. I don't diagnose cancer, but I do know that.
I don't think I need to be doing that.
Wait a second, I don't want to be in the control blocks. What am I doing? Get out of there. Medicine? No, I'm anesthesia. I'm an anesthesiologist. I don't do patients. All my patients are asleep. I don't belong talking to people. No patient wants that, no hospital wants that. Gotta limit my contact to like 5 minutes or less. Yet somehow you yahoos are here listening to me talk on a Sunday night. There we go. Give me wolves. Give me wolves, or give me death. I've been given a lot of death today. You seen those salaries on Gasworks? Yeah, baby. It's a good time to be alive. There was a local hospital here who, well, long story short is their anesthesia department imploded, and they were offering absolutely obscene amounts of money to cover. But I think they like hired 1 or 2 docs, and those days are gone. But it sounds like things there are still a complete shit show. So. Like, they're not critically understaffed where they, like, can't run the freaking hospital anymore, but they're still, like, in complete disarray. Seven figures for peds and cards? I don't know about that. I mean, you could... if you worked a lot, you could do that as a temp worker. Yeah, you could cross 7 figures pretty easily if you kept really busy doing locums work. But then it's all 1099. It's, you know, you get taxed to shit. But yeah, you could do it for sure if you worked, you know, 50, 60-hour weeks, lots of weekends. Yeah, you could easily cross 7 figures with the prices people are paying these days. Like pretty much the minimum acceptable rate at the moment is like $350 an hour for temp work, for locums work. Yeah, I believe $850. Yeah, I believe that. Probably in a high cost of living area or extremely rural. Those are the places here. I'll look in just a second and see what the stuff around me is. I'm in the Kansas City area. But yeah, if you're desperate for a cardiac anesthesiologist, man, you gotta pay what you gotta pay, right? There aren't a whole lot of those. Oh, medicine's doing pretty good these days too, man. You can get a hospital's job for $350 to $400 pretty easily, at least around here. And I know the hospital I work at isn't like, it's, you know, it's kind of a medium-sized community hospital. It's not super busy overnight. Like, you'll get called, sure, but it's not that bad. Okay, gas work. I think I almost convinced Gucci to do anesthesia because we look at this page so routinely. Pretty sure everybody who's been here for longer than like a couple months is like, well, holy shit, I could do that. I fucking hate anesthesia, but look at these numbers. Cardiac anesthesia for $575? No. Nope. Great Bend? Where the hell is Great Bend, Kansas? Your mom wants you to go anesthesia and you want to go medicine? So in my opinion, anesthesia is sort of like internal medicine where you do stuff. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like I am very much a hands-on type of person, and I want to have nothing to do with convincing people to like take their meds or like fine-tuning stuff over the long term. I just have no interest in that. I find that extremely frustrating. So Great Bend is officially in the middle of fucking nowhere. Wasn't there a song about Ellsworth, Kansas? Some country song that got popular. Yeah, so Wichita's hours away. Yeah, there is there is just freaking nothing there. Man, KU, how you think you're gonna get away with paying market like city market rates for somebody to go to the middle of nowhere, dude? There's no chance. You like solving puzzles? I think so. I think internal medicine is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Internal medicine is like super cool. The fact that you treat everything, love it. I just don't want clinic. And I like if I were to do medicine, I think I'd be pretty happy as a hospitalist, honestly. But it's a lot more paperwork and a lot less action than I prefer. Um, that's a double-edged sword because of course, like when real bad shit goes down, like I'm it. You know, everybody looks to you and they're like, "Well, save this guy's life." Like, okay, cool. Uh, but yeah, I do like you know somebody comes in. My experience on internal medicine wards, which granted was in an academic setting, so you know, do recall that this is much slower than real life is. But the example that I use all the time is diabetic ketoacidosis, which for anybody who doesn't know is basically when your diabetes is out of control and your electrolytes get all fucked up because of it. So, like when I was on, you know, the medicine team as an intern, that would take 3 days to treat. I can fix DKA in an hour in the OR, like easily, like without even really thinking about it. And that's like everything from IV access to treating them to treating side effects to stabilizing them and you know telling somebody what insulin dose they need to like manage their diabetes long term. Whereas you know again that would take multiple days of rounding in medicine, and I think that's pretty fucking badass personally that you can do something, you learn how to do stuff like that. I also like patients. Yeah, well, I mean, I like taking care of patients. I just don't really care to talk to them. I can't even tell you how many times somebody, like, you know, an attending, like, during training, be like, did you hear what that guy does for a job? I'm like, no, actually, I did not. Because I really just don't give a shit. I really just don't care. That has nothing to do with what I'm, you know, gonna, like, do professionally for this person, so... Let's move on, shall we? Yeah, taking history is not my favorite part of my job, but at least it's pretty focused where anesthesia is concerned. You kind of just like roll up and you're like, is like, am I gonna kill you today? What are some things you have that will make me kill you? Does your heart work? Do your lungs work? Does your brain work? Like, you know, as long as the answer is, like, sort of to most of those questions, then I think we're in good shape. But yeah, definitely like the pace of my job. I'm very much a, you know, show up, get shit done, go home kind of guy. Like, and you know, medicine is sort of legendary for its mental masturbation. It's not that you can't run it that way, because you certainly can, and actually you'll make a lot more money and probably take better care of your patients if you treat it as a, you know, in-out efficient sort of deal. But most people don't do that. Most people like, you know, having a cup of coffee, have a conversation, talk to people, get to know them, you know, that sort of thing. And I just prefer not to do that, frankly. Work is work. Get my shit done and go home and do this. Talk to strangers on the internet and play video games. Yeah, ER I am, dude. I mean, I have no hate for any specialty. Like, I think those are all great choices. Like, really the only specialty that I never really recommend anybody go into is OB. And if any of my OB friends are watching this, I think they would actually probably agree with that statement. Frankly, it's one of the lower paying, you know, well, I guess it is primary care, but like non-generalist primary care specialties. The liability is huge, the hours suck, and might even be worse than residency if you get the wrong job. Reimbursement is dropping all the time. The nurses are sort of like legendarily bad. So like your working environment kind of is not as great as it should be. There's just a lot of not great things about it. So yeah, anesthesia is definitely not 9 to 5. My like that's I would say that, so my schedule is very good right now, but the predictability of my schedule is trash. Like, I would say I'm probably like upper 30s hours per week on average. But there are weeks where I have call on Friday, Sunday, and Thursday. And we do that deliberately to like just cluster your call, and then usually if you do that, you're on vacation the following week. But still, that's a, you know, 80-hour week. And if you get rocked on those calls, then, you know, sucks for you. Like, sorry. Usually you don't. Usually it's pretty tame, but, you know, maybe you get called once or twice a night. But there are bad nights. But yeah, my workday ranges anywhere, so I get to work at 6:30. Usually the busiest time of day is, you know, 7 to 8 in the morning. And then just kind of varies from there. We run very lean, so I work hard. You work super hard while you're there most of the time. There are times where you'll get like, so you can medically manage, or medically direct is the technical term. You can medically direct up to 4 rooms, operating rooms, or, well, sites of service, 4 anesthetics. You can medically direct up to 4 anesthetics at one time and bill for those. So we always max out. Like, every doc takes 4 rooms, if possible. And so there are times where we'll have 8 rooms going. So you just kind of need an extra person around in case something bad happens. Because if they, you know, if there's like an emergency that comes in, like, you know, they just add a case on or something and you have 9 rooms, then you need a 3rd person. So sometimes there'll just be 8 rooms for a long time and you just get stuck. But most of the time, like that, you know, that 3rd person just gets stuck there. But most of the time, if you're there, you're hustling. But like I said, my hours are good. Generally, I sleep through most of my call. But again, it is very unpredictable. Like, I might be at work for an hour. I might be at work for 10 hours. You know, I might work in the middle of the week for 16 hours overnight. Like, it's all kind of a crapshoot. You can have a 9 to 5 job in anesthesia. I mean, it wouldn't be 9 to 5; it'd be 6:30 to 3. But yeah, if you work at a surgery center that's, you know, not super duper busy, you can have regular hours, no call, no weekends, no holidays. But you're gonna take a big pay cut for that. Oh, fuck me. That's a fucking waste of time. Yeah, so you probably take a 20-ish% pay cut to do that. But, you know, if you're late in your career, or if you just don't care, then, and you just don't want to hassle with overnight call, then I get it. That opportunity exists. Or if you want to do locums and just make your own schedule, as we discussed earlier, like, there's plenty of opportunities for that. Anesthesiologists are in very short supply these days. And places all over the country are trying to plug gaps however they can. 400K, oh, no, it wouldn't be 4 days a week, it'd be 5 days for sure. But yeah, it's probably about 400K, maybe 450, depending on where you are. And your hours still aren't like, you know, you don't get to punch the clock. It's like if there's a surgery still going, you stay there and recover that patient. So, you know, sometimes you're gonna be there till 6 when you're not supposed to be, But yeah, for the most part, your hours are much more predictable at a surgery center. Because, like, there's always a chance when I go to work that I'm just stuck. You know, that I get, like, some trauma hell case that I just can't leave. And it's kind of a professional courtesy that, like, if you get involved in a real shit show, you just sort of stay there and handle it until, you know, the patient is at least, like, in a position that's stable enough for you to give it to somebody else. They don't necessarily have to be done with the surgery, but, like, dude, if you're in there, like, pouring blood product in somebody, it's really fucking poor form to hand that case off to someone else. I should really pay more attention to what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, you can always get tagged with some nonsense. But yeah, most of the time, surgery center is pretty chill. Sounds very worth. Yeah, it is. It's a good deal. I'm still, you know, young and healthy enough where I strongly prefer the extra cash and the extra unpredictable, you know, in exchange for the extra unpredictability. But I'm sure that there will reach a point where I'm just like, man, I just really can't be fucked to take overnight call anymore. Even if it's easy. Even if I'm pretty sure I won't get called. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. So I'll take the pay hit and go somewhere else. But yeah, for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna chill with what I'm doing. How open is pain? We don't do any pain. Or, like, when I first started, our group did have a pain service. But we got rid of that because it just didn't make financial sense. Reimbursement dropped, and the hospital, not really sure exactly what happened, but, like, the referral base dried up, so the clinics weren't as busy. And, you know, with seeing 7-8 patients a day, it just really wasn't worth our time. And also, we were kind of called on to see all of these patients at weird times for pain consults that we didn't end up getting. Like, we didn't get the patient in clinic, we just saw them as inpatients. So we were like, why are we doing the hard part of this work and getting this person squared away acutely, and then someone else gets to manage them and do their procedures? Like, that doesn't make any freaking sense. So we bowed out of that. And I'm so glad we did. Holy shit, that was a big quality of life change. As a fellowship option? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misinterpreted. Very is the answer. Anesthesiology is the preferred specialty to go into pain from. I think you can go into it from PM&R, neurology, maybe surgery? I think emergency medicine can too, actually. I think they're eligible for pain fellowships, but anesthesia is by far what they prefer. Why do I keep trying to say prepare? I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, that is the preferred specialty for pain, for sure. And you're best prepared to do it. I mean, that's sort of obvious why. I went into residency thinking I wanted to do pain, but we're sort of circling back to the I don't want patients notion here. I did not particularly care for pain clinic. So, yeah, abandoned that notion. Oh my god, there's so many people here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, the Circle of Doom. Where are my wolves? There we are. Protect me, wolves. Family medicine can do pain too? Did not know that. Oh, and he's Soul Eater too? That son of a bitch. I'm running away. Fuck that. I'm out. Does critical care differ from medicine? You know, I don't know the answer to that. Just thinking through it. So, I know at KU, where I trained, they only had a Palm Critical Care Fellowship. I don't think they had a straight-up Critical Care Fellowship there. So everybody there was internal medicine, doing pulmonology. As for how other places do it, I do not know if anesthesia is a totally separate deal. I bet you it is, because the residency preparation is so much different. I mean, there's a reason that anesthesia critical care is only 1 year, whereas palm critical care is 3. Like, because basically in residency you train for critical care all the time. All of anesthesia is critical care. You take perfectly healthy patients and make them critically ill, where they can't support their own airway. Like, you do that all day, every day. So, yeah. And, you know, you're better trained in all the procedures, intubations, line placement, like central line placement, arterial line placement, all the invasive monitors and whatnot. Like, that's just all sort of basic anesthesia stuff that medicine folks have to catch up on. Surgical critical care and medicine does medical critical? Yeah, I guess that's a fair, comparison, but like in the medical ICU, there's plenty of post-surgical patients. I mean, those patients often have, you know, tons of different procedures. So there's, you know, there's a lot of overlap between the different like types of ICUs. Certainly anesthesia critical care is a little bit more towards the like acute perioperative time sort of thing. And I would say that the medicine residents are definitely better at sort of like discharge planning kind of stuff and longitudinal care setup than anesthesiologists are, for probably obvious reasons, because that's like what you do in medicine. So that's where their skill set is. And sort of seeing the big picture, whereas anesthesia is like fix it now. And both are good. I think, I mean, maybe it's a biased answer, but I think the anesthesia approach is better. I think it's more efficient and better for patients. But you need both pieces, right? Like you've got to, like, once your issue is stabilized, then, you know, presumably you're gonna go home or not to the ICU at some point. So there's got to be a plan for that as well. And, you know, I just don't have a whole lot of, well, I do have a fair amount of experience doing that, but not as much as medicine residents do, because that's like what they do. You know, you discharge somebody home, and you're like, here's a plan. This is what I need you to do. So I will tell you this, though. God. Anesthesia critical care, I mean, you're basically doing a fellowship to take a pay cut. Critical care makes less than just anesthesia generalists do. And unless you're at an academic institution where you're just sort of like all under the same umbrella, so like all anesthesiologists make the same amount of money, then, you know, like if you were to work in the community as a primary or as a critical care doctor, you'd take a pay hit to do that, and your quality of life would suffer immensely. Like I think generally speaking, ICU docs are bothered much more than I am overnight. And they're, you know, the intensity of their job. Oh, what the hell? That sucked. The intensity of their job is much higher also. We'll go farm some more wolves. Give me my wolves. Alright, let's go get him, Tiger. Could fall back on doing general anesthesia if you get burnt out. Yeah, that's true. For sure. And the same's true of pain. You know, if you get tired of seeing pain seekers and stuff, or drug seekers all the time, then yeah, just go back to the OR. I know lots of people who've done that. They're like, oh, I'm not going to make as much money from this anymore. Yeah. Not worth the hassle differential. And so they go back to mostly the OR.
The Bannon.
What do I want from this? Sure, basalt flask. Give me that.
For freedom.
I fear.
It is good to
Oh, you just had a god pop out of you. That's a bummer. That'll ruin your day. Turned off pain for you.
Exile.
Yeah. No, the reimbursement for pain has been just getting kicked in the nuts for like 30 straight years, literally. Like there have been just repeated massive cuts to how that works. Hello, innocent.
Bannon.
What's up? Yeah, I guess blood raiment's what I want. I'll just sell that back to you because I'm sure it's trash. Yep. Alright, 63. Do I really want to farm
For freedom.
these areas to 68 before I start maps? Oh, my resistances are trash. No wonder I'm getting wasted. Wow, okay. I wondered why I was dying all the time. It's like, I'm really not that bad at this game. How long out of residency am I? I graduated in 16. So that's 9 years? Coming up 9 years. Yeah, coming up 9 years. It's been a good ride, man. I'm happy with my choice. I have a great work environment too, actually, which helps a lot. Let's see, what are all these things? Rogue Harbor, Disenchanting. Okay, all Kingsmarch shit. Okay. Yeah, no, I enjoy my job. I would quit very quickly if I won the lottery or something, though. Like, I am definitely a work to live type. I'd be freaking gone if I had the money to live like I do now, like for the rest of my life. I'd be out. But yeah, I do enjoy what I do for sure. Like the people, like the job, like really like everything about what I do. There, you know, everybody bitches, and there are things that could be better, certainly. As folks in the area go, we probably make like on the low end of average, I think, for the Kansas City area, which is actually still really good. Like on a national basis, but you know, clearly more money is never a bad thing. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I've been happy with anesthesia. Like the work, like the people. I don't like that my job is like 25 minutes from my house. I would change that if I could, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. All I see is doom and gloom and never understand it. Oh well, it's a hella depressing job, man. Like, you very rarely get wins. Like, that's just not what you do in the operating room. You stall. And I mean, community medicine is a little bit different than academics because there are lots of people who do like genuinely come in to like, you know, they get like there's runners who get their knees replaced and shit, you know, so they're like really genuinely affecting their quality of life positively. So that's nice. But the vast majority of stuff you do is just, you know, taking care of people who are super freaking sick and have shitty life qualities so they can slightly have a slightly less shitty life quality for a while. So I mean, it's a downer, but you know, if that's your job, you kind of just lean into it. I mean, you're like, yep, that's what it's doing, and I'm gonna make the best of it, do the best I can for these people, you know, make their experience as good as possible, and move on with my life. Is the 25 minutes too long or too short? It's too long, man. It's too long. I never. So it's an easy drive though. I live like 2 minutes, I think, from the from the highway that I drive on to get there, and it's like literally all highway. So I have like under 5 minutes of non-highway driving time in a 20-ish mile drive. How much experience did I gain? I really didn't gain that much experience today. But yeah, I don't want to like make it sound like the most depressing, like horrible gig ever. That's just kind of medicine. Like everything you do is a stall, right? But that's okay. I mean, it does. There were definitely times in residency where I was like, man, this sucks. Like all you do. Or all we did. So, well, I'll back up. So there's lots of different ways to handle call in anesthesia residency. Well, in any residency, but anesthesia especially. A lot of people are in the operating room, like they're the anesthetist basically for cases overnight. We did not do that. We just covered everything except that. We were expected to be around when those cases started and help out and do stuff for them. But we covered OB, we covered trauma, codes, you know, whatever random crap the nurses needed on the floor for our epidurals or like nerve blocks and stuff. You know, there's just fielded everything. So what that meant is that anytime somebody died or like was in a car wreck or some shit, like you had to go to it. So you just constantly get beat down with these traumas and, you know, moribund people. But so there were certainly times where I was like, man, this job is grinding me down, like spiritually. But you know, and add to that the fact that like you're just heinously underpaid, you're treated like shit, you're working an 80-hour week. Like it's like emotionally, physically, mentally grueling experience. Do not recommend residency to the lighthearted and the faint of heart. You don't know what you do besides medicine? I mean, yeah, I get that. I totally understand that. Know a lot of people making less than 150K who drive over an hour to work. Yeah, I do too, which is crazy to me. Like, dude, move. Why are you not moving or get a different job? You're in path, so you don't see the worst of it. Oh, well, I don't know about that. I mean, you have to. Yeah, I guess you're not the one like telling someone they has cancer, but. You know, you see lots of people like, you're like, oh, well, that person's life is going to change forever. That sucks. I like Path. I've had really nothing but good experiences with pathologists. Alright. Level 64, huh? Well, why don't we go to the old Reliquary? I'm gonna try to grind it up to 68 before I go kill Kitava. So I can use all my gear. All my cool fancy toys that I bought. Ah, wolves, come on. Where you at? Oh, it's a Dr. Glockenflecken reference. I've fallen, like, I haven't really watched any of his stuff since he got popular, honestly. I just kind of forgot about him. He's awesome, though. That guy's super cool. If you've ever listened to him talk, he's a very insightful guy, a really good speaker. I forgot what his actual name is, but I think he's an ophthalmologist. Is that right? I think he had cancer, right? Did he have testicular cancer? Still run into big egos? Oh, yeah, I bet you... That's an interesting point. I bet academic pathology is... perhaps a little on the... masturbatory side. Because you got time for it, right? He also died for a bit? Oh. Well, that's terrifying. Dear God. How did he... like, was that a trauma thing, or... What do you mean he died for a bit? Ah! Huh. Well, I will look that up as soon as I'm not blasting monsters. That's crazy. He's a young dude, too, right? He can't be older than, like, mid-40s. Dude, so speaking of which, man, my friends are freaking dropping like flies. There have been, if you're a member of the Discord, which you should be, by the way, you'll want to join up if you haven't. I told a story a while back of a friend of mine whose coronary arteries spontaneously ruptured 6 weeks after giving birth to her third child. And apparently that's something associated with Will Flannery. There you go. Let's see if this command still works. Oh, it does. Nice. So that's a Discord if you're not a member yet. But yeah, long story short, is she almost had to have a heart transplant. Also almost died. And she's, still not really out of the woods yet, but at least she did not have a heart transplant and is home with her baby. But just recently I found out a friend of mine has viral myocarditis and was in the hospital for like a week. Like, it sucks, man. And these are, 40-year-olds just like I am. Or actually, I think but same, 35, 45, that age range. Crazy. Having your heart just randomly pop is nuts. Yeah, it is, right? It's crazy. 3 times, too. She had 3 vessels rupture. Like, how does that happen? And she's super healthy. Some wild shit, man. Betrayed. Betrayed by your pump. That's not a good thing to be betrayed by. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up Will Flannery. I forgot about that. All bad. Alright. Oh, that's gonna get like, oh, there he goes. Cardiac arrest. Dr. Comedian finds things, blah, blah, blah. I guess I'm gonna dox myself here, whatever. Let's see. Well, that doesn't really tell me what I need to know. Cool. Let's see. Don't pregnant women have cardiac hypertrophy that goes back to normal? So pregnant women have a lot of changes, a lot of physiologic changes. So cardiac output increases dramatically. Intravascular volume increases dramatically, which is kind of linked with the cardiac output. I don't know that they have cardiac hypertrophy. They can have peripartum cardiomyopathy. That shit's scary. I've seen a couple people flatline from that, like just have massive arrhythmias because their EF's like 10 for no reason. Let's see. Didn't respond. She was gasping for air. Damn. So did he like aspirate or something? So it was in May 2020. So he just went into VFib? Why would he go into VFib? So he got a rhythm back after 5 shocks. Jesus Christ. That's wild, dude. I wonder what he got for chemo. I wonder if there was like, what's the heart chemo? Doxorubicin? I wonder if he got like doxorubicin. I have no idea what you use to treat testicular cancer, so if that's a really stupid thing of me to say, that's because I know nothing about chemo. Oh, physiologic hypertrophy. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like I was saying, they have massively increased intravascular volume, so I buy that. That probably takes longer than just the peripartum period to resolve, though. Damn, just like went into VFib, 34 years old, huh? Crazy.
Low on mana.
Hey, you bastards, give me wolves. You all need to die, so I get wolves. There we go. The heart pops. Doing it for the kids. What would cause a vessel to rupture? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. Best guess is some sort of, like, she may have some sort of, either autoimmune issues that, maybe didn't, haven't ever really been an issue for her. Or she has some, like, connective tissue problems and is, like, predisposed to that. I don't know, though. It seems like, so they had, her sister, this girl's sister, was posting updates on, I forgot what the site, Caring Bridge, I think was the name of the site, and was just posting updates about it, and she spoke about this so casually, like, oh yeah, we're at this hospital, and the SCAD, like, spontaneous coronary artery dissection, the SCAD specialist here is telling us, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck is a SCAD specialist? Like, I've literally never heard of this condition in my life.
Finally,
Like, I know that, your coronary artery can rupture just like any other vessel, but, like, as a consequence of pregnancy, that's news to me, bro. I had no idea that was the thing. But apparently there's somebody who you know, sees all those patients, of course, at like one of the academic hospitals in town. Interestingly, I knew her in high school. That physician, but anyway. Yeah, it seemed like, oh yeah, of course we see those patients here. All right. Whatever you say, man. Cool. Been an anesthesiologist for 9 years, and I've never heard of that, but okay. Like, you would think that I would at least, like, run into that once or twice out of the thousands of deliveries I've been part of. Chaos Orb. Yeah, like my wife was like asking me. My wife's a nurse, so she's like not exactly a healthcare idiot either. But she was like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." Let's look it up. Sounds really bad. And hey, it was. Healthcare. What's up, Aranis? How are you, man? You had to do a what? How? You had to do a project on that? Your first year? What the fuck? Okay. I guess my medical education is just like somehow has this gaping hole in it. Have a lot of cool heart stuff males don't have. Yeah, they can have that cool heart stuff as far as I'm concerned. If it involves things rupturing unexpectedly, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, that's kind of a cool, the project on sex difference, that's kind of a cool idea. That's a good good way to start for learners, especially. Interesting that they had, like, peripartum stuff involved in that. New. Yeah, quote, cool. I don't know, I think that stuff's interesting. That's why I have the job that I do. Basically like a heart and lung manager for the most part. And to a lesser extent, brain. Increased nitric. Look at this guy. Holy shit. Bringing the education in chat. I did not know that women have increased nitric oxide production. That's cool. So, does that mean that women less frequently have pulmonary hypertension? Riddle me this. I don't think I've ever heard one way or another. Setting up an anesthesia elective? Hell yeah, baby. Do it. 2 rotations before surgery? Which order would I prefer to do that in? Surgery first or anesthesia first? I guess through the prism of not having done med school yet, or done either rotation yet, I guess, is more what I mean. Anesthesia might be the better way to do it, because it's a little less intense in terms of rotations, or generally speaking is less intense. And you kind of get a feel, like if you really pay attention to the procedures, then you might have a leg up during your surgery rotation, where people are pimping you and, you know, you want to focus on figuring out what the key parts of the surgeries are and stuff. Anesthesia will be good for that. Let's see. Bigger implications, they have less vascular endothelial damage. Okay. Protective effects lost post-menopause, and their predisposition is to heart disease increases. Okay. Why would that protection be lost after menopause? Does like the estrogen progesterone cycle have something to do with nitric oxide release? See, this is all news to me. I've never heard this before, so... And you seem to know what you're talking about. So I'm going to take your word for it. Switch from estradiol to estrone. That's really cool. It's in trauma anesthesia? Oh, cool. Well, so let me, does anyone want to know what the anesthetic for somebody who has a severe trauma is? Some of you who've been here for a while know this answer. Somebody who's, like, unresponsive, they're, like, getting ready to die, you know what their anesthetic is? Just take a guess. Ketamine is a great guess. That's a really good guess, but no. Because ketamine can... It doesn't, like, directly lower your blood pressure, but if you're in profound pain, it can take that pain away. It is also a mild cardiac depressant. So ketamine is not first step. The answer... Fentanyl is also a good guess. However, for the same reasons, not the answer. The answer is nothing. The answer is you give them 0 until they prove that they can hemodynamically handle an anesthetic. And then after that, generally you give them a benzo. Give them like a high dose of benzo so they can, you know, they have amnesia. Like, typically before that, they're not perfusing their brain well enough to form memories. But even if they are, if you drop their blood pressure, they won't be soon. So you kind of want to avoid that. But yeah, nothing. If somebody's unstable and on your table, you know, on your OR table, and they're like gonna die, just give them nothing until you can like pump enough blood into them to stabilize them. And then depending on who you talk to, you either give them Ativan or Versed in, you know, medium doses. And then from there you can go up to like ketamine, gas, you know, normal anesthesia kind of stuff as they stabilize further. Isn't that weird? Can always pat him with pasta water. Hell yeah. Love it. Let's see, what do I need? I need that at some point. Get that so I don't forget it. That's 30% of my damage. Yeah, but trauma anesthesia is superficially extremely intense, but fundamentally very, very simple. Because it's basically just a fluid game. You just try your best to keep up with, like, resuscitation. That's it. It's just volume. Put the biggest frickin' line you possibly can in somebody and go. And then when, like, shit settles down enough for you to do so, you start checking electrolytes and pH and all that sort of thing, and managing that, and, you know, cranking up your anesthetic a little bit. But, yeah, when it's balls to the wall, man, it's just blood, 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 blood. It's not very complicated. Sugarcane, what's up, dude? Giving out Cordyceps like Oprah? Hell yeah. Except no substitute, baby. Hey, I used a super cool, got a different kind of MAC catheter that I'd never used before. And so here, we'll look at what a MAC catheter is. It's like putting a freaking mechanical pencil in somebody's neck. It's sexy. I loved it. Let's see if I can find... Let's see. So it had a main like infusion port and then also a second large volume port, which is really cool. MAC catheter. See if I can find the one I used. I believe it was this one, actually. No, that's a standard Cordis. So that's probably, for anybody who doesn't know, this is probably 3-ish millimeters across. So, like, pretty freaking big to put in somebody's blood vessel. That's not what I want. That's what I want. There we go. Yeah, this is what I used. So this has the big-ass port here. This thing is huge. It, like, literally is mechanical pencil sized. And this is also quite large. So it's nice to have 2 high-volume ports. Bug the blood bank for massive transfusion. Wake you up in 3. That's me! I'm knocking on your door. One of my favorite calls to get from a lab tech is, hey, are you sure you want those platelets? Like, no, I just ordered platelets because I thought I should. Thanks for calling me. I appreciate it. It's not like I'm doing anything else right now. I really just wanted to talk to your lab tech. Like, yeah, bitch, send the platelets. Please. Pretty please. Just wanted to make really sure that you wanted this blood product for the level 1 trauma they just called. Your mom has a Metaport where she gets gamma globulin? Dude, ports are amazing. What an awesome invention those are. So for anybody who doesn't know, a port is basically like an implantable IV, more or less. And so for people who get infusions all the time, it saves them, you know, hunting for blood vessels and, like, you know, the like drug addict problem where all their vessels are like scarred and sclerosed and, you know, they can't ever get IV access. They are so cool. And a port takes, like, you know, a good surgeon takes like 15 to 20 minutes to put in. You can do it under like MAC anesthesia, light anesthesia, basically. Those are so cool. I mean, it sucks that she has to have one. I don't mean to like make light of her situation, so sorry if I came off that way, but like that is an awesome thing to have access to. Saw a lab result floating around. The patient had platelets of 2. So a good friend of mine, actually, while I was a resident, I think it was my senior year, might have been my second to last year, can't remember. But anyway, he got hospitalized, and one of my friends called me to let me know. Like a different friend called me and was like, "Yeah, hey man, he's in the hospital, and I don't really know why, but they said he has an absolute neutrophil count of 3, or my friend said ANC of 3." He's like, "I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is." And I was like, you know, he's wrong. Like, my friend's not medical, and so I was like, that's wrong. So I totally abided by all HIPAA laws and did not look my friend up in the EMR. And his ANC was 3. It was 3. And so I went to see him, and there were like 10 people in his room. So anybody who doesn't know, an ANC less than 500 is like, you need to be isolated, basically. Like, your immune system is fucked. When your supplies are low, the texts start bothering you. That's hilarious. I love it. I'm glad I'm not the only one who gets bothered about that. But yeah, so I went, and then like somebody bought flowers, which you're not supposed to have because like there's bugs and, you know, outdoor contaminants and stuff on them. Lots of like immunogenic things going on. And like I immediately started kind of like getting antsy and anxious. I was like, you guys need to leave. He's gonna die. Please get the fuck out of this room. But it was all okay. It was fine. He had like a adverse reaction to some med that he was taking, I think, that basically made him like, you know, anaplastic, which is terrifying. More additional training modules for you? Yeah, absolutely. But it was weird, like they had him in I mean, you know, the KU has a bone marrow floor. You know, they've got an isolation floor. I don't know why he wasn't there. But he was just in like the normal floor. You know, people in and out of the room all the time, getting meals brought to him, all sorts of stuff. Like, nobody seemed bothered by that situation at all. I was. I was extremely uncomfortable with what was going on. But, you know, of course I didn't want to, like, you know, his whole family's there and, like, a couple friends, and I don't want to walk in the room and be like, hey, you guys have to like leave right now. I'm not taking care of him, and a lot of you don't know who I am, but leave the room immediately, or you're gonna like make him super sick. Mom had leukemia and was in isolation. That's super scary, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Lived in a sterile apartment connected to the hospital. That's cool that they had that resource. Wow. I mean, that's a nice break, dude. That's really cool that they had that available for. I swear, man, some of these cancer centers like work freaking magic. They have the most funding, and they do some crazy shit sometimes. KU did the same stuff. I mean, they have patients, they're just like, ah, yeah, you can stay here for like 5 months. It's fine. We'll just comp it. Whatever. We'll figure out a way to get insurance to pay for it. Jesus, okay. When in doubt, it's always a lab error. Yeah. Except when it's not. Is it Tulane? Yeah. Cool. I was impressed with Tulane. I ranked that program very highly for anesthesia. I thought that was a really cool hospital. Was it Oxner, however you pronounce that?
Low on mine.
That seemed like a really good place to be. You'll find a way to blame the ordering provider. That's okay, man. I'm anesthesia. I'm used to everybody blaming me. I'll take it. Just hit me. Hit me with it. Let's go. It's always my fault, even if it's not my fault. One of your friends has breast cancer? That sucks. I mean, MD Anderson's a place to go, though, right? Like, damn. I'm sure they got some wild shit up in there. And you want to talk about funding? Dear God. That place is insane. I stayed with a friend of mine who he went to Baylor, so he lived like right next to the hospital. And I stayed with him when I interviewed at Houston and Galveston. And like, that frickin' med center is just mind-blowing, dude. One of my partners, I think, did his cardiac fellowship there at Texas Heart. He has some pretty wild stories about shit that goes down. Holy cow, I'm streaming! Way, good gosh darn, what's up, man? How are you? You believe it? You believe that shit? I actually am live. That was an 04. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, glad she's doing well. Prime sub right now, look at this guy. Who brought this shill to the stream? Well, I greatly appreciate your support, man. Thank you so much. As always. Doing pretty well. Oh, HER2 negative? That's good. Oh wait, so you're gonna go there for like all of your rotations, not just like an away or something? That's pretty cool. New Orleans is a very interesting city to me. I don't know that, like, I've only been there once. I only went there, the only time I was ever there was to interview for residency. And I don't know that I would want to live there. It doesn't seem, like, easy to live in, but it seems like an awesome place to do, like, a short-term visit. I mean, even be there for, like, a month or two or something would be awesome, but it seems kind of, like, hard to get around. Like, I got the impression that there's, like, sort of, like, no-fly zones, like, areas that you don't want to go to that are, like, straight-up dangerous are, like, packed in with, like, where you want to be. And they're just, like, all checkerboarded throughout the city, and it's like, you know, you walk 2 blocks in the wrong direction and you're, like, gonna get frickin' shanked instead of having a nice dinner. I mean, yeah, for sure. Every metro has those areas, but I felt like my impression based. I was only there for a day and a half, but like it seemed like they changed very quickly. Like interestingly enough, I actually happen to live. There's a street called Troost in Kansas City that's like been a historical like white-black dividing line, like a physical barrier, and that isn't quite the case these days, but it definitely is still like a very socioeconomic barrier. And I live pretty close to that, so like you go a few blocks, like half a mile east of my house, and like things are very, very different. Where do I stay and not get shot? Ooh, 3-year anniversary, you're right. Oh my shit. 32 months. Damn, that's a lot of months. Damn, brother. It has been a minute. It's crazy to think about. Bars on the windows are getting thicker turnaround. I don't know. I don't follow those rules very often because I'm a huge like mom and pop food fan. So generally the thicker bars mean the food be better. It's been brewing all day long and it's delicious. Like generally I can tell how good the food is gonna be by how shitty the service is. Like, if you look at me with contempt when I walk in the door, you just, like, tell me to fuck myself, and I, like, go sit at a table, I know the food's gonna be really good. New Orleans ZMS carries blood products in their ambulances? Wow. What's the... Man. How much of that did they waste? You'd think the spoilage on that would be awful. I mean, surely they don't carry, like, platelets and shit, do they? And plasma? Just, like, straight up blood? I mean, I guess I could see red blood cells. Pre-hospital blood. What is pre-hospital blood? I do not know what that means. No platelets, just red blood cells. And they get swapped. Oh, I see what you mean. So it's like kind of en route to the hospital, basically. And they're just like, here, ambulance, take this. Domicile amazing balls, hard to find. The potholes are wild. That's awesome. Yeah, I understand that New Orleans is legendary for its potholes. Several of my friends went there for Mardi Gras, like, God, back in college, so like fucking 20 years ago or something. And one of my friends who's like 6 feet tall, basically, was standing in one that was like up to his chest. He was like all the way in the pothole. Seafood boils. So, you know what I found out the hard way? Is that apparently, in Missouri, you cannot sell crawfish. Like, my wife always talks about having crawfish boils. Like, growing up, because that's a, she grew up in the, like, Mississippi Delta area, kind of. That's just, like, a Delta thing to do, right? Crawfish boil. And, like, I was gonna surprise her for maybe birthday, anniversary, something like that, and do a crawfish boil, but you can't get them here. Fucking fascists, man. Keeping me from my crawdads. So I never looked into whether I could, like, ship them to a friend or something. But I feel like that's asking a lot. Like, hey man, do you mind if I ship you, like, 20 pounds of crustacean? Just take care of that for me. I'll be over in just a little bit. I'll take care of it. I don't know, maybe I could swing it. Maybe I could make that work. Ah, yes, satisfaction guaranteed. Alright, let's do this. What do I need? One more time? No. Several more times. Fuck. Stupid levels.
Low on mine.
Oh, I'm so close to the promised land. Maybe I should have just killed Kitava. Oh well. Here we are. New Orleans Blood Program. Interesting. Okay. Oh, look at that. I mean, I guess if you use it enough, it makes sense. Like, you know, red blood cells aren't going to go bad if you have them in the fridge. But I mean, you do, like, jostling them around isn't, like, great for them. They can coagulate a little bit if there's, you know, like, spare clotting factor activity, and, you know, you can damage the cells and stuff like that. It's generally best to avoid if you can. Yes, one more level before the promised land. I wish that at some point in my life I had lived in a condo. It just seems like so much easier than a house in a lot of ways. I mean, I think like everywhere that I ever looked at had ridiculous HOA fees, and that really is what kept me from doing it. But man, like my style is old houses, and old houses need a lot of fucking upkeep. Dear God, they need a lot of upkeep. I mean, it's worth it, I guess, but it does suck. And it's really expensive. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah, nice old Victorians? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Emergency Meta saving lives with blood transfusions in the field. I do not believe that I will be paying for that. I will cancel any time. In fact, I will preemptively cancel. How about that? I guess we don't get to read that. Staying in the French Quarter. I would, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that tourists are super obnoxious in the French Quarter. That's just kind of like what tourists in New Orleans do, right? They be obnoxious. Everyone's there to get shithoused and, like, be insane. Okay, got that. Not paywalled for you? I don't know, maybe I'm just not special enough. Try again. Yep, still paywalled. Oh well, whatever. I mean, it's a cool idea. Sort of terrifying that they need to do that, but... Wait, what? This is cool. I will keep that around. Love it. All right. One of the 2 women shot in the 500 block of Bourbon Street was in bad shape. That's an ominous beginning. Thank you for the paywall breaker, by the way. That was huge. Yannick Lewis. Yikes. Give her a blood transfusion right there under neon signs advertising daiquiris and pizza by the slice. Okay. That's a very surreal start to an article. It's wild, dude. Okay. One of a handful of EMS in the US to do pre-hospital emergency blood transfusions. Okay. Oh, it's a whole blood transfusion. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I mean, you never know if that's correct. Like, they may not understand that phrase has a technical meaning to it. Sort of like when you call somebody lethargic, like, you know, that has a medical definition, whereas like whole blood also has a medical definition. Receive blood in ambulance, make the hospital have a higher, let's see, cool. 40% who do receive blood, 10% critical condition. Wow. That's a very big difference. Decreasing the murder rate. Oh, they're decreasing the murder rate because they save people. Got it. I was like, what the fuck? How does that have to do with anything? EMS covers the $1,100 price tag. Wonder how many transfusions they do. San Antonio does it also? Okay. San Antonio. I don't really think of San Antonio as like a dense, high crime sort of city. Let's see. Small cooler, keeps O positive, chilled. Administering blood in the field is expensive. Yes. Requires special training. Meh. I guess, like, an hour would do it. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. Of those who received blood transfusions, 86% were black males. Jesus Christ. Actual research. Nice. Let's see. What do we have here? Accept those cookies. I love cookies. Here, we'll, for those of you who like reading, $70,000. So survey. Fast-paced urban EMS system is achievable, may improve physiologic derangements while decreasing patient mortality. All right then. benefits. So 70,000 responses. They had 149 meet criteria. That seems weird. Handmade ice cream. Holy shit. Need to go to New Orleans. Independent reduction in in-hospital mortality. Okay. I mean, cool. Makes sense. You know, like somebody needs blood emergently, they get blood and they do better. Okay. That tracks. Yeah, still 210 people out of 70,000 responses seems very low for people in like critical care situations. I don't know. Maybe my view of EMS is skewed. Stricter criteria since it's premium. Yeah, fair enough. Also, since that's sort of so what that brings to mind is home births, and I'll make that connection in just a second. So, like I was saying, sort of, you know, obvious that somebody in dire need of blood getting blood is probably going to be a good thing for their outcomes. It's like how do you justify experimenting on that? You know, it's kind of a fucked up experiment to do. Like, really, I would think that the pitfalls in that situation would be the logistic issues, cost, you know, maintenance of the blood products themselves in, you know, safe condition. You know, like actually administering those said products and documenting properly. Not so much like whether or not it's a good idea to do. But yeah, anyway, the connection I was gonna make there is like, how do you test home birth? How do you randomize somebody to be like, hey, guess what? You get to have your baby at home. It sucks for you, doesn't it? It's like it's sort of obviously better to have medical care. But I think that's really cool. I had never considered that as an option. And one interesting thing that I have noticed is, like, EMS uses a lot of, like, advanced airway equipment that I had never seen before, like King tubes and stuff. I'd never seen that until my current job. Like, they never use that for trauma patients at KU. Maybe they're new. Maybe, they were recent development, which is why I hadn't seen them.
Low on mana.
But, like, they've got some pretty fancy shit and cool tools to play with. I like it. And the IO drills, they use those drills a lot more. I've only used that, like, twice ever. And they're a shitload of fun and work really well. But, like, it seems like EMS gets to play with that crap all the time. Only included patients that had penetrating injury and, like, and in shock, basically. Gotcha. Was this the game that he was that he was paying people to race in or boost him in? Yes. It's so this is the first one. This is Path of Exile 1, which is pretty similar. The one that he was getting boosted in was Path of Exile 2, which is due for a large update apparently. I think April 2nd is the day. But I haven't. So I love Path of Exile. It's like probably been my favorite game for the last couple of years. Oh shit, I fucked up. But Path of Exile 2 looks like it's really slow. And the end game is definitely not fleshed out. I mean, it's in early access right now, so I can't, like, hate on it too much, but it's definitely not something that I'm really willing to test out. It looks like it's not my speed. Right now, at least. So, I'll wait. I'll wait until they've developed it a little more. It's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it's totally hilarious. It totally defeats the purpose of playing a game, dude. Like, you're not playing the game. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you don't want to play the game, then just don't play the game. You know, I understand the, like, you know, it's not worth his time thing, but nothing is worth Elon Musk's time. He makes so much freaking money, like, you know, tens of thousands of dollars a second. Like, of course it's worth, like, a financially smarter idea for him to pay somebody to level his characters, but, like, it's supposed to be an enjoyable activity. You know, you're supposed to have fun. If you want to have fun playing a game, then play the game, dude. Ow. Stupid Ring of Doom. Imagine being an adult man video game cheating. Dude, there's lots of tryhards out there. Gotta measure that EP-ness somehow. What's really funny though is like, did you see the live stream of him like talking about his character? The guy who had played his character got him all these like super nice items, like really high-end gear, and he was just on there talking shit about it, and everyone's like, dude, you obviously have absolutely no idea what the fuck is happening right now. Like, you have extremely difficult to acquire gear. And, like, really? He could have just totally skated under the radar and be like, yeah, I paid this dude to level my character. Nah. And just, like, not said anything. But, of course, he decides to, like, you know, go live and talk about it in front of, you know, however many thousands of people I'm sure would watch something like that. Yeah, I'll just go back. Elon's maps. You're amazing. Yeah, so one thing that really stood out to me about that live stream was the audio quality. It's like, dude, you're the richest man in the world. Can't you buy, like, this microphone that I'm using costs like $100. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, this sounds, it's not perfect, but it sounds way better than whatever trash he was using. Like, you paid some poor dude to level and gear your characters. Can't you at least have a decent sound setup? Yeah, he's a very weird dude. Obviously his methods work pretty well, but at what price victory, man? Yeah, that whole live stream is very confusing. I mean, just sort of you know, kind of lends credence to the notion that he just has absolutely zero social ability whatsoever. Which in turn, you know, kind of leads back down that, like, autism road. Autistic supervillain. I mean, kinda. Seems to be filling that role rather well. I mean, what do you think the chances are that his belief structure is actually what it appears to be, I think the answer is pretty low, personally. I think he sees a very exploitable population and is just going balls to the wall, and he's having, like, outrageous success doing so. That's my personal opinion. I mean, maybe, you know, he's probably a little bit, like, on the, you know, Nazi spectrum, but, like, I think he's just, like, going all in on a strategy that's paying off in spades for him. He was talking about items based on required character level. Yeah, I think, like, and item level too, right? He's like, oh, this obviously isn't all that good because it only requires character level, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but it also has the best mods in the game? It's like, you know, an item that most people will never even remotely see. Didn't he see Kyle? He did, in fact, on 2 different occasions, I believe. But he was just throwing his heart to the crowd. We here in the US like to perform massive mental gymnastics to support celebrities we like. Regardless of what they do. It's worked out pretty well so far. It's been a good strategy. Oh, I'm so close. Oh, so close to level up. Holy shit. Look, Ma, no leveling service. Someone whose family got rich off apartheid also being a Nazi. Unheard of. Imagine that. Well, fortunately, he's brought those same segregationist sensibilities to governing the U.S. That's really cool. I'm glad he's fallen in with a group of people who, you know, can really support those fundamentals, those values. Oh, yeah, okay, fuck this place. I'm not running a second longer in here. The fundamental weakness of civilization is empathy. Nice. They're exploiting a bug in Western civilization, which is the empathy response. Wow. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? Very informative. Very informative quote there, Mr. Musk. Okay, don't need that. Don't need that. I gotta go to my hideout. Not terrifying at all. Dude, there's just so much crazy shit going on right now. I can't even, like, wrap my head around it. It just seems like every day there's a headline that's just, I'm like, I didn't see that coming. I honestly had no idea that that was fucking coming. Like, we're gonna go to war to get, like, we're just gonna take Greenland from the Danes, apparently? Like, okay. Like, where the hell did that even come from? Why do we give a shit about Greenland? Aren't there, like, 10,000 people there? Oh, need decks. Okay. Let's see what we can do about that. Oh, we can do that. Does that help? Not really. Great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Boop, 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 boop. Don't need those anymore. Alright, where are my decks at? Okay, yes, we're doing this. to plot to a James Bond film. I mean, it totally is, right? It's crazy, like, you know, the massive rich guy and politician in leagues together, just like colluding to fuck everything up. PR Beacon is screaming into the void. It's just crazy, man. You know, I hear, especially like at the beginning when they were announcing Trump's cabinet, I was like, you know, I try to keep the stream like pretty not political, but like this shit is just so far out in left field that I don't understand how anybody reasonable could not just be like scratching their head and being like, what in the hell is happening right now? Okay, 197 dex. So I need 20 more dexterity somewhere. Where do I figure I'm gonna get that? Yeah, I might have to get real creative. We'll see. Let's put on rings first before I start freaking out. 50,000 people, all of whom tonight in meeting with the vice president. I mean, dude, JD Vance is such a little bitch. That guy is ridiculous. I don't know how he got chosen for the vice president slot. Made red hats that say "Make America Go Away." That is so cool. I want to see that. Oh shit. That is amazing. Oh shit. Oh, that's fucking brilliant. Dr. Guy Robert Kennedy appointed to the NIH that talks to psychics? No. Mercola. Huh. Okay. I guess that's the next person we're live. Why do I have caps lock on? Who is this? Joseph Mercola, osteopathic physician. Okay. Let's see. American alternative medicine proponent. Markets largely unproven dietary supplements and medical devices. Of course he does. Why is it that, like, these fuckholes are always in it for, like, they're shills. They're essentially shills. They just, like, go against all conventional science and take advantage of idiots. I mean, they just, like, exploit people. Homeopathy, opposite. Yeah, of course he's an anti-vaxxer. That's great. American Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, which promotes scientifically discredited views about medicine and disease. Great. Well, he seems like a really awesome person to have involved in our health administration. Send me the vid of the guy of him talking, channeling a god, of course. Where do we find these people, man? Ridiculous. Let's see. So I need gloves. Do I need gloves? %, increased spell damage seems pretty good. Oh, I need resist though. Yeah. Actually, my resists aren't that bad though. God, channeling a god. Dear fuck, man. Okay. I guess that's our country now. Oh, shit. There we go. Oh, good. Here we have the video that's gonna make me mad. Hey, stop. Sorry, that's really loud. How the fuck do I turn the volume down? Can you hear this? You can't hear it? Okay. That's weird. Okay, hang on. Here. Pause. Let's see. Desktop audio. Here we go. Okay. Ready to get your ears blown out?
Is the partner.
There you go.
There is potential there, yes.
He can lead the charge and get other, I mean, we'll have a very much unlimited resources.
Correct.
We can destroy that entire industry. It needs to be destroyed. It needs, just like Steve, it needs to be destroyed. My guys just told me how we do it.
Just like
We
Steve, it
make
needs to
this
be
a
destroyed.
campaign. We have to get with the, I don't know what the campaign is, but whatever it is, we employ tens of millions, maybe even more than that, maybe 70, 80 million people. And they're full on board to protect our pets from the damage that's been inflicted upon by this industry.
Yes.
They will march with weapons on these creatures because I need a partner to help me destroy the veterinary industry. Is this the partner?
There is potential there, yes.
He can lead the charge and get other, I mean, we'll have a very much unlimited resources.
Correct.
We can destroy that entire industry. It needs to be destroyed. It needs, just like Steve, it needs to be destroyed.
Wow. All right. Well, that's kind of next level crazy. Back to the music. Jesus Christ. So good. Well, I'm glad that he is in a position of power because somebody needs to destroy the veterinary industry, and it might as well be some random god who talks to this guy. Cool. I feel way better about things now. Okay, so how do I go about unfucking this situation here? Skills, inspiration. Okay, 4 green. 1 red, 1 white. Ooh, I have to 6-link that? Ooh, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Oh. An error grid? What? What you talking about, Willis? Would you refresh, please? Temporarily unavailable. Okay, well, I guess I'm not trading for an armor right now. Hundreds of millions of dollars from his supplement sales? Yeah, I mean, of course he is. Of course he fucking is, right? God, that's so frustrating. Yeah, that sucks. It sucks a lot. I mean, they all are though, and that's why they do that. It's just so much easier to be an asshole and, you know, sell out than it is to like actually provide value. And unfortunately, ignorant people have just as much money as educated ones. And a lot of times are easier to convince to spend it. So that strategy seems to have worked out pretty well for a lot of people. Do I want to 6-link this? Eh. So I need something with 4 blues. Almost was that. Not gonna be gloves, probably. Yeah, so that guy's... Who is he again? What is his position? What did you say? Oh, he's the NIH director, of course. Yeah, that seems like a great idea. Of course he is. Seems like the perfect person to direct our, like, most advanced healthcare system. Oh, so maybe not necessarily the director, but he's an administrator of the NIH still. I will count that as equally terrible. Man. Well, we'll see what sort of unfixable problems come from these appointments sooner rather than later, I guess. Okay, so I need to get that on. I need Cyclone. I really need a 6-link armor. Shit. Alright. Of course, the trade site's not working, so I guess that's just not... No matter what I do, that's not really an option. Okay. Well, let's at least see what I would need to do to color the armor that I have. What is it? I would need 70, okay. Okay, well that's not too bad. Let's see if I can even do that. We'll just have no children getting vaccinated for next 10 to 20 years. Yeah, that'll be great. That'll work out super well. Okay, so I need 4 green, 1 blue, 1 red. Oh, so close. Was it 4 blue? No, it was not. Trade's been down for a long time. Wonder what they're doing. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, that was not so bad. I mean, hopefully they're fucking fixing it. Okay. I mean, maybe I can at least, like, go out and get wild with some... Oh, that needs to change. Let's see, so... 2 sockets. Wait a second. The anti-vax woman in labor who exposed 10 other infants and new mothers to measles? Oh my god. No, I didn't. That just, like, makes me want to stab myself in the face, man. That is, like, next level fucking stupid. Yeah, I don't even know what to do about that. Like, I mean, if you're just that dumb, there's really no fixing it. And it sucks that other people have to suffer. See, the problem with this, in my opinion, is that, like, people who are against vaccines really aren't going to hurt themselves that much, but they are going to hurt their kids a lot. And I guess maybe you could argue that they'll hurt, like, their parents and stuff, but there we go. Yep. 3 linked sockets. Boop! I have Creeping Frost somewhere? I think I forgot to buy that. Oh, there's Bone Chill. those. Well, shit. Forgot Creeping Frost. I'm an idiot. Oh well. Guess I'll level my Creeping Frost gym now. That's the hospital's fault? I mean... Yeah... Maybe, but I mean, I don't think you can deny somebody emergency care if they show up at your door. Right? Isn't that an EMTALA thing? I'll leave that to Uranus to answer. I don't know EMTALA all that well. Hospital assumed she wasn't a moron. Well, that is definitely not a safe assumption in this day and age. Went in while active labor and they brought it L&D. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, there's... I mean, it makes me think of, like, one of my partners who, bless his heart, is now retired. I'm so fucking jealous of that. But he's retired, and towards... I mean, maybe within, like, his last month of working, there was a woman who... She had a congenital heart malformation. She had a previous baby with a congenital heart malformation, and she was delivering at home with a midwife. And, like, coded. And so they brought her in emergently. And, like, dude. Like, what? What? You fucking serious? If they're a hospital that participates in Medicaid and Medicare, they okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And sometimes it's state too. Okay, state level as well. I mean that tracks. That sounds like what I've heard before. Okay, so Peacock, Creeping Frost. Let's see. What am I going to do for that extra dexterity? I'll take that jewel slot, I suppose. Maybe I'll just take a random dex note, I guess. That seems awfully fucked up. There's something I can take that just sort of like gives me dexterity as an ancillary thing. Guess not that I'm seeing. Okay. Dex note it is. Stupid character reworking. As less children get vaccinated, more unvaccinated mothers be prone to measles. Yeah. Yep. Here we go. I mean, I think we're already kind of on the leading edge of that, as this discussion implies, right? Like we've sort of hit the crunchy granola wave, where, you know, people started thinking that not vaccinating your kids was the cool thing to do. Oh, what's this? Watching Dr. Mike versus 20 anti-vaxxers? Oh, man. That sounds terrible. I mean, it sounds like... I bet you how this goes is Dr. Mike just gets, like, fucking drowned out. Because he's kind of a... You know... I don't know if passive is the right word, but he's sort of like a easygoing, not like a real forceful personality. So I bet he just has, like, 20 tinfoil hat people just shouting at him the whole time. He's a sweetheart. He is good. I mean, he seems like a really nice guy. I'll give him that. What was I even doing? Oh yeah, I just misclicked and read that. That was the problem. Grace, petrified blood. Okay. So I need sniper's mark on hit. We can do that. Or can we? Where the fuck's my mark on hit? Really? I didn't get mark on hit either. Nice. Really hitting on all cylinders here. That's cool. Well, fortunately, I have a level 14 one. It's just ready to go. Fantastic. All right. Volley. Boop. Yeah, I have to say I'm jealous of Dr. Mike's YouTube career, though. That seems like a much easier way to make money than what I do. Certainly lower stress. I wonder what his view counts are these days. Let's find out. So I'm surprised that my feed isn't more polluted by the random bullshit that my kids watch on here, like Minecraft videos, various Miss Rachel thing. Oh, there it is. Oh no, that's not it. Those are games. Huh. Okay. Well, that's relatively unperturbed. I bought my dad a Ferrari. How'd you buy your dad a Ferrari? It seems like a terrible idea. 13 million subscribers. Damn. $4.1 million views. I mean, that's a lot of views, dude. He's making a lot of money. Like just convo on Ayurvedic medicine with Healthy Gamer. I think, yeah, Dr. K is he's an interesting dude. But it sort of seems like he injects religion into his therapy, which is a little weird. It seems like what you're not supposed to do, actually. Like, kind of the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. I think, there are a few people who watch the stream, or used to at least, who are very much against Dr. K and what he does. And I think it's kind of shady that he's like, this isn't therapy, but, you know, tell me all of your most intimate things on, like, live TV, basically. Like, okay. I mean, you know what you sign up for when you're getting into it, right? But, like, pretty clearly these are therapy sessions, right? Like, you know, he's giving you feedback and, like, talking you through your issues. Like, it's fucking therapy. Yeah, I think I've forgotten where I first heard about him. I don't remember. But not long thereafter, I think Reckful killed himself. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole. Like there was another creator that like did a whole like expose of that and like how Dr. K handled it. Like his and when I say it, and I mean his relationship with Reckful leading up to Reckful's suicide. And it was pretty fucking shady, if I do say so myself. It was poorly played at best. Dr. Mike broke down his argument pretty nicely. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it was sort of more of a back and forth than like, you know, hey, this is what I do kind of thing. That's interesting. Than like a straight up interview, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, so precision needs to be on arrogance. So does flesh and stone. Wherever flesh and stone is. Where is flesh and stone? There we go. I need that. That. And that together. Like, it's like, yeah, but science works like this. Yeah. Which is sort of a weird thing to have to remind somebody, right? But you know, I guess like if you're in psych, you're kind of close to that anyway. Psych is very like guess and check in my experience. Sort of I mean it's obviously very like science and, you know, medicine driven and stuff, but like uh, there's a lot of room for interpretation of guidelines, I guess, or so it seems. Maybe I'm wrong, but did your undergrad in psych? Well, I meant psychiatry specifically, but yeah, psychology in general. Like, I feel like there's, there's a lot of room for you to just kind of like play with the rules a little bit and just tailor whatever you're doing to your situation, because sometimes it's what you have to do to like get through to a patient. I found that I was not very good at psychiatry. Like I maybe I just like didn't do it enough, but I feel like the like actual interview process was really challenging for me. Like the patients who were truly like psychotic, and I found it really hard to like get the information that I needed from them. And so it just ended up being like a med game. To what degree are diagnoses not social constructs? There's no troponin. Yeah, I agree. Right? Yeah, and I think a lot of it is, like, especially, like, pop psych, like, things that are pertaining to, like, current events.
Excellent.
Shit. A lot of stuff is sort of fluid. You know how, like, the DSM changes frequently in terms of, like, how they classify different, like, psychological issues. Like, I think gender dysphoria is one that's gonna be all over the frickin' map for the next while. A lot of psych diagnostics are prone to observer bias. Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree. Wait a second, so I specifically need a red socket. Fuck. Okay. Well, I got one. Amazing. I was thinking I was gonna have to get real mad and burn some more currency, but I got lucky. Okay, so we're still running purity of elements. Did I have the life bonus? Yes, I did, so I need to do that. We'll take flesh and stone and precision. And I need that. It's like really cool for people going into it because that is a huge amount to grow. I think that the studies with like brain function are absolutely fascinating, like functional MRIs and figuring out like which areas of people's brains trigger and to how, to what extent with different tasks and experiences. I think that shit is absolutely fucking fascinating. I think that's so cool. So yeah, hopefully that grows rapidly. I mean, we'll get so many cool insights out of that technology. Taking fMRI into neural implants, yeah, I mean that's gonna be nuts. And when we all turn into cyborgs, that shit's gonna be wild. Okay, so I can't do that. Is this still down? Trade site's still down? Yep. Boo. Boo hiss. Okay. So let's at least get all of my ducks in a row here so I can... Okay, so cast on crit goes there. Hypothermia doesn't go anywhere, I don't think. Increased crit doesn't go anywhere. Let's see. What were the links? Oh, awakened, added cold. Meh. Okay. So inspiration, volley, cast on crit. Okay. I'm just gonna go buy a added cold. Oh. There we go. In you go. Inspiration and cyclone. So that, cast on crit, and ice spear goes in there. Where's ice spear? Am I losing my mind? The hell? There it is. Okay. I was about to get really mad. Let's see. Patient has dopaminergic cascade when approached with the stimulus. Yeah, exactly. Or just like, you know, neuron activation. Like, this, you know, he smelled a dirty sock and freaked out. Or, who knows, man. Like, all of the things, like, this is happiness, this is sadness, this is, like, disgust. That's so cool that you can actually, like, physically see what those things do in people's brains. That'll be a huge frontier in the future, I think, in terms of, you know, like, mapping people's function. Like, psych meds and all that stuff. Oh shit, it's 11:45. I better go to sleep. Christ. Once we're ever able to define these things more readily, psych quickly becomes one of the coolest fields. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if you get like a more sort of like hard science feel to psychiatry, I bet you that's going to be really cool. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. I need to go to sleep because I got to be up in like 6 hours. So thanks for hanging out. I always appreciate the company. It's been a great discussion tonight, actually. Lots of cool and very weird things talked about. But I will try to be back Wednesday night. That's always the goal. But I will see you soon. Thanks again. Have a great week.